Horton's world welcomes you. What if the most dangerous god was not the strongest warrior? What if he did not wield a hammer or a spear? What if his power came not from brute force but from the cleverest lie? In the vast, frost-bitten world of Norse mythology there is such a god. His name is whispered in fear and fascination. He is the shadow that walks among the golden halls of Asgard. He is the serpent coiled at the heart of their world. His laughter is the sound of breaking faith. This god is Loki, the trickster, the deceiver, the architect of ruin. He is the one who stood shoulder to shoulder with the gods, yet secretly plotted their downfall. He is not a god of thunder nor of war. He is the god of something far more potent, chaos. Chaos itself was given a name, a voice, and a wicked, knowing smile. Loki embodies the unpredictable nature of fire, sometimes a comforting hearth, other times a consuming wildfire. He is the master of mischief and the lord of shapeshifters. He can be anything or anyone. A fly buzzing in a god's ear, a salmon slipping through a net, a beautiful woman with a deadly secret. His very presence is a paradox, a constant challenge to the order the Aesir gods desperately try to maintain in their 9 worlds. Tonight we delve into the dark, twisting history of this enigmatic figure. We will peel back the layers of his many faces. We will explore his brilliant mind and his capacity for profound betrayal. Loki is not a simple villain. He is a complex tapestry of contradictions, a force of nature given form. He is the god whose cunning saved his brethren from certain doom on countless occasions. Yet he is also the catalyst for their ultimate destruction. His story is a chilling reminder of a fundamental truth that echoes through the ages. This is the tale of the god who ensures that even the divine are not safe from fate. It is a story that proves trust is a fragile thing, easily shattered by a well-placed word or a carefully crafted deception. We will journey into the heart of his darkness to understand the motivations behind his most infamous deeds. We will witness how a welcomed ally became a reviled enemy. Prepare to uncover the true face of Loki, the god who brought about the twilight of the gods, the one who guarantees that in the end, everything burns. Loki was never truly one of the gods. Born of giants, welcomed as an outsider, he was their secret weapon and their greatest threat. He smiled, knowing every secret and weakness in Asgard. Chaos cannot be controlled. When Loki unleashed his true nature, the doom of the gods began, nurtured behind a traitor's smile. Loki is a scar on Asgard's perfection, born not of gods but of giants. His blood a secret poison, his nature chaos itself. From the wilds of Jotunheimer, he entered a world that would never accept him. The gods saw order. Loki saw cracks in their golden facade. He is chaos given a mind and a smile. How did Loki, son of giants, become Odin's blood brother? Through a sacred oath, their blood mingled, binding them as family. This pact gave Loki power and protection, but also chained him to a world he could never truly belong to. Odin's greatest move, yet his most catastrophic error. Loki's presence in Asgard was a quiet poison, seeping into the gods' world and corroding their trust. On the surface, he was the witty companion, the bringer of laughter, the clever problem solver. But every victory he secured came at the cost of another lie, another step away from honor. The gods thought they had tamed a monster, but they had only given it a better view of their weaknesses. Loki, god of fire and mischief, thrived on chaos and transformation. His power was not brute force, but the art of deception. He could become anything, anyone at will. The gods of Asgard relied on his cunning, even as they feared his unpredictability. Loki's help always came at a price, often paid in humiliation or compromise. He reveled in showing the gods their dependence on him, the outsider and trickster. Each scheme he spun both saved and undermined them, deepening their uneasy alliance. Loki was the fire that could warm or destroy, and the gods never knew which they'd get. In every act, he pushed boundaries, waiting for the moment his art of deception would ignite something far greater. Loki's most infamous tale began with Asgard's broken walls and a cunning bargain. A builder offered to rebuild them, demanding the sun, moon and Freya as payment. Loki suggested a near-impossible deadline, thinking the gods safe. But the builder's stallion, Svadilfari, made swift work of the task. As the deadline loomed, the gods panicked and blamed Loki. To fix his blunder, Loki transformed into a beautiful mare, luring the stallion away. The builder failed, revealed as a giant, and was slain by Thor. Asgard was saved, but Loki's solution was as strange as it was effective. The gods got their wall, but Loki's actions would have unexpected consequences. His chaos had once again become their salvation and their discomfort. Loki returned from his escapade as a mare, leading an 8-legged foal, Sleipnir. Born of chaos and trickery, Sleipnir became Odin's prized steed, able to travel anywhere. The gods accepted this gift, forgetting its bizarre origin. Loki's cleverness brought them power, but at the cost of his own dignity. Sleipnir was a symbol of Loki's otherness, a living reminder of the price of his cunning. The gods rode his chaos, never questioning what it cost him. Loki's humiliation deepened his resentment, even as the gods benefited. Out of his lies, a gift. Out of his shame, a legend. Loki's resentment simmered until it erupted at a grand feast. Among the boasting gods, he demanded his place, invoking his blood oath with Odin. Once seated, Loki unleashed a torrent of brutal truths and accusations. He exposed secrets, mocked their failures, and shattered their self-image. The gods, trapped by their own guilt, could only listen as Loki dismantled their reputations. This was the Lokasenna, Loki's declaration of war not with weapons, but with memory and truth. He turned their celebration into a reckoning. The laughter died, replaced by rage and shame. Loki had crossed a line, and the gods would never forgive him. Loki's assault spared no one. He exposed infidelities, cowardice and hypocrisy. He reminded Tyr of his lost hand, a consequence of the god's own treachery. He mocked Thor's failures and finally confessed to orchestrating Baldur's death. With that, Loki transformed from trickster to mortal enemy. The gods' patience snapped. Vengeance replaced laughter. Loki's words had poisoned the feast and shattered their unity. He was no longer a necessary evil, but the architect of their doom. The stage was set for the final reckoning between Loki and the gods. After Loki's tirade, silence fell. The gods' camaraderie shattered, replaced by suspicion and resentment. Loki's loyalty was a fiction. His only allegiance was to chaos. He poisoned their relationships, exposing secrets and ending their golden age with a whisper. The laughter died in Asgard. Now only grim determination remained. Loki's greatest legacy was not in his tricks, but in his blood. In the iron dark forests, he found Angerboda, and together they spawned 3 horrors, prophecies of doom. Odin saw their fate, a wolf to devour the sun, a serpent to poison the sky, and a world in shadow. The father of lies had become the father of monsters, heralding the end of all things. Odin brought Loki's monstrous children to Asgard, Fenrir the wolf, Jormungandr the serpent, and Hel, queen of the dead. Fenrir's hunger terrified the gods. No chain could hold him. Jormungandr was hurled into the sea, growing to encircle the world. Hel, half beautiful, half corpse, was banished to rule the dead. The gods thought they'd contained the threat, but only set the stage for Ragnarok. The gods' actions were born of fear, not wisdom. By chaining Fenrir, they only fueled his hatred, turning a monstrous beast into a vengeful enemy with a personal grudge against the Aesir. The wolf would spend ages straining against his bonds, his rage growing with every passing moment, dreaming only of the day he would break free and devour the god who had orchestrated his imprisonment, Odin. The prophecy was not just that a wolf would kill the All-Father, it was that this specific wolf, the one they had betrayed and bound, would be the one to do it. Their solution had created the very motive for their destruction. Similarly, casting Jormungandr into the sea did not neutralize him. It simply placed him where he needed to be. Encircling the world, his very presence poisoned the oceans and created a constant underlying tension in the realm of men. He became the ultimate adversary for Asgard's greatest champion, Thor. Their final battle was preordained. At Ragnarok, Thor would finally slay the great serpent, but in its death throes, the monster would spew so much venom that the god of thunder would take only 9 steps before falling dead himself. The serpent was not just a monster in the sea, he was Thor's fated doom, patiently waiting in the deep. And Hel, in her cold kingdom, was given a crucial role. By making her queen of the underworld, the gods gave her an army. She would gather the countless souls of the dead who did not go to Valhalla, the inglorious and the forgotten. When the end times came, she would lead this terrifying legion of ghosts and corpses aboard a ship made from the fingernails of the dead, sailing to Asgard to join her father, Loki, in the final war. The kingdom the gods had given her out of disgust became the recruiting ground for the forces that would overwhelm them. Their attempt to discard her had empowered her beyond their wildest fears. The gods feared Loki's bloodline, and they were right to. But their fear blinded them. They saw the prophecy as a threat to be avoided, rather than a future that was already written. Every action they took to prevent Ragnarok only ensured that it would happen exactly as foretold. Each child was a shadow, a prophecy of doom, and the gods themselves had placed them perfectly on the cosmic chessboard. Loki had created the agents of destruction, but it was the gods' own fear and treachery that armed them, aimed them, and guaranteed their devastating victory in the end. Asgard was gripped by fear, not of monsters, but of dreams. Balder, the beloved god of light, saw visions of his own death, casting sorrow over the golden city. Frigg, his mother, travelled the 9 worlds, extracting oaths from all things to never harm Balder. Now invincible, Balder became the centre of a joyous game. Nothing could hurt him, but Loki watched, envious and plotting. For him, Balder's invincibility was a challenge, and chaos was his answer. Loki sought a weakness, shape-shifting into a frail old woman to trick Frigg, queen of Asgard, into revealing her secret. Only mistletoe had not sworn to spare Balder. Loki found the mistletoe, plucked it, and returned to the god's game. He guided blind Hodor's hand, helping him throw the fatal dart. Balder fell, and the gods' laughter turned to horror, Loki's masterpiece of sorrow. The gods' grief was overwhelming. Their light extinguished, they blamed Loki, whose mask of innocence fooled no one. Hunted and captured, Loki was bound in a dark cave with his son's entrails, a serpent's venom dripping onto his face for eternity. Only Sigyn, his loyal wife, stayed by his side, shielding him from endless torment, until Ragnarok. Titi, Loki's story doesn't end in that dark cave. His punishment is just a pause before the final act. At Ragnarok, the world will shake, chains will break, and Loki will be free, transformed from trickster to destroyer. He'll face Heimdall in a final, brutal battle, order versus chaos, where both will fall, shattering the world. Yet Loki's legend endures, evolving from ancient sagas to comics and film, always the unpredictable force in the shadows. Chaos never vanishes. It waits like Loki in the shadows, ready to break free. The next page is blank. What will you write? What will you choose to let out? Whether myth or fact, the legend warns, some doors are best left unopened, and the greatest unknown may lie within us. It's a puzzle box with no key, a whisper in a quiet room reminding us of the world is stranger than it seems. As our journey ends and the candle's smoke fades, what magic will you carry forward? Challenging us, repelling us, and forever inviting us to question the limits of our own will. The answer lies in understanding our capacity for darkness and light. And ask yourself, do you believe? Do you dare to explore the unknown, to confront the shadows that lurk in the dark corners of our world? We may stumble upon truths more unsettling than the shadows themselves. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the history of the god Loki. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Horton's World Mythology for more explorations into the world's most fascinating myths and legends. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What other mythical creatures or legends would you like us to explore next? Share your ideas and let's keep the flame burning bright. And as always, stay curious.